Side Spurs pubcast, coming to you all the way from the Vast Side Arms, where we have convened an emergency get-together to discuss the news, the breaking news of about half an hour ago. Tonight I'm joined all the way from the hood by Andy. How are we doing, Andy?
Nuno Espírito Santo.
I don't speak Portuguese.
Yeah, well, I'm quite fluent in it, actually. Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Thanks.
Fantastic, good stuff. Good. It's been a while. We haven't got together for a couple of weeks.
No, we haven't actually. No.
It was a case of getting together when there was something to talk about. So that's all good.
Wait.
I know. It's been 70 long days, apparently. 70 long days.
Yeah.
So we're also joined by the fiery.
I'm not sure I like that.
Constantly up for a fight. Sarah.
Hey guys.
How are we doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. I don't know how I feel about that news, but I'm all right. Well, I'm sure we'll speak it out, and during this counselling session, as they sort of turn out to be.
You're not a no to Nuno, are you?
No, I'm not a no to Nuno, but I'm underwhelmed.
Okay. Underwhelmed. That's okay. A word I keep saying. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we can discuss that. So
yeah.
I guess I don't know how I want to play this. I mean, we spoke about the appointment of Paratici, I think, a while back. So he's kind of been beavering away in the background, and we've been linked with countless people, countless candidates that apparently were his first choice. And interested, interested, Andy. I think that you mentioned that no to Nuno thing because we were linked to Gattuso, and there was that hashtag that campaign that went around, and he was trending probably second or whatever with no to Gattuso, I think it was. And I think the reasoning behind that was fairly justified. I think if you look at his alleged background in terms of his some of his opinions and beliefs and whatever, you can understand why there might be a hashtag campaign around that. But then I think once Nuno became another one of the candidates that allegedly we were in for, and the significant talks were taking place and all that sort of stuff, then all of a sudden there was a no to Nuno campaign. I think I'm not sure. I think it just speaks about Twitter's sense of entitlement that that they just decide, well, actually, because it worked for one, we'll just do it now. That's just going to be a thing. We'll do that. I mean, what were your thoughts when you saw like that doing the rounds?
Well, I thought that it was, first of all, a little bit disrespectful for a manager who, over the last few seasons, we've actually seen him do a lot of good things, and he's beaten us. So one of the last games at the stadium that I went to, we lost 3-2. And okay, you could argue we weren't playing that well, but they were pretty good. And
there's a bit of a trend building there. Didn't you go to the Villa game as well?
Yeah.
So we are just shit though, Steve. If you're a season ticket holder, odds are the last game you went to, we lost. Currently.
Yeah,
this isn't the last season at White Hart Lane. Sorry.
Thanks, Sarah. Yeah. Thanks.
You do have a point, Sarah.
Blew my whole case out of the water there. Thanks.
Yeah, sorry.
So, and Andy, seen as Sarah just destroyed me there, you crack on.
I just think it's a bit. It was a bit disrespectful to Nuno, who's obviously a top coach, whether you think he isn't a top coach or not, he bloody well is, because he's a Premier League coach. He's coached in Spain, he's coached in this country, he's coached in Portugal, and Paratici apparently likes him. So if the ex-Juve director of football wanted him at Juve after what's his name, Pirlo, was going to leave, then surely that's a pretty good endorsement. But what I am seeing on our lovely Twitter environment is people saying, we could have had Conte. But how do we know that Conte would actually be a better fit than Nuno? Conte is a very argumentative person. He tends to, end up with a big argument like he already has done at Inter. And we don't need that. We need something a bit more solid. We need a foundation that we can actually build going forward, something a bit more progressive. But people want the Conte thing because they want a shiny trophy.
Do they want the Conte thing, or do they want something to beat Levy with? So because we were linked with Conte, which was possibly, given our current environment, given, and he doesn't fit the the club's DNA really. I'm not sure that Nuno does. That will come to pass. But we know that for sure Conte doesn't. We know that he's someone that needs money. We also know that within probably 2 seasons, 3 seasons, he'll be gone. He'd definitely be gone. He doesn't stick around anywhere too long. So, I think you could argue that any of those managers, coaches that we were linked with, whether it was just speculation or not, you could use that as an opportunity to say, oh, well, Levy actually fucked up. Oh, we should have had this. We should have had this one instead. Yeah. I don't see that there's any. I don't see how there's any. Any justification to say, well, like we should have had him. We should have had this one. We should have had that one, because we don't really know in reality how far those conversations went.
No, we don't. No, absolutely. What do you think, Sarah? What's your thoughts?
I was just looking back to see, because I think Steve said it's been 70 days or something like that.
Yep.
Off. I'd say off air, but I don't know if that's the right phrase. Since we sacked Jose, and I do feel underwhelmed that for 70 days it's taken for us to appoint Nuno. But maybe Daniel Levy, got rid of Jose. Was like, right, going to get a director of football in after everything that happened. Obviously, there was a lot of other chaos going on around the club at that point, and we appoint, I'm going to say Fabio because I can't say his surname, 12th of June I think it was. So if you look at that, he's come in and he's appointed his manager in 17 days, if that's what they've done. So actually, if you give him the benefit of the doubt of that, then that's what's happened, and we've appointed a manager in 17 days, someone that Daniel Levy agrees with, because he likes the style of football that Wolves played in their peak under Nuno. And I did like the football that they played under Nuno. So in terms of that, I think, well, if he can bring that style of play, and with it he can bring results, and with it we can be competing, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Am I underwhelmed? Yes, I'm a little bit underwhelmed, because I think we all bought into the Pochettino project. We were patient. Yes, maybe we were ahead of the curve, and we're victims of our over successes, really and truly. And I think we all felt when Mourinho came in, we don't really like you, but if it brings a trophy, we'll suck it up. I think I think that was the general consensus. I'm not saying everybody felt like that.
Yeah.
That was a general consensus. And then so we've sacked Mourinho and we've gone, right, we're really close. We want that moment. And Nuno just sort of feels a bit underwhelming. It just sort of feels like.
Does it feel underwhelming? Like, when you, like, you mentioned Pochettino, but when Pochettino came in, he didn't come in. I didn't
want him to come in. Oh, yeah, I know what you're going to say. He was really underwhelming as well, and he was a massive success.
He turned out to be the right fit, even though he didn't get us over the line in the opportunities. No. I mean, I was looking before all this kicked off earlier. I was looking around for something to watch on the telly because obviously, rather unconsiderately, the Euros are not on tonight, and I put on BT Sport and they had. I can't remember. I don't know what they typed. Oh, EFL something or other. No, it wasn't BT Sports. So it was Sky. EFL something or other. And the match was fucking Chelsea Spurs 2015 final. I'm not going to watch that. But I'm not going to watch that. But it's just a reminder, that as well as Pochettino did and getting us to these things, we never actually got over the line. So no. I just think that I don't understand how people can be underwhelmed with him based on, where we were when Pochettino came in and where Pochettino in terms of ranking was when he was appointed. Everyone was fucking hell, we should have gone for Van Gaal. Van Gaal was the one that we should have got.
They
but
did.
We lost out to him. Fucking hell, we could have got De Boer, but we lost out. We lost out to De Boer. And actually, De Boer has subsequently turned around and said that he was close to being appointed, and we rejected him and chose Pochettino. So, Pochettino wasn't by any means fans' first choice at the time, but he came in and did a good job. And then Mourinho was no one's first choice apart from Levy's, right? And he didn't do a good job. So surely anything from where Mourinho's left us is a step up. And
we shouldn't be in a position whereby, and I don't think all the links are true. I think there's a certain amount of it where people make a lot of money linking managers to football clubs and vacancies and sackings and all of that. And that's what the press is all about. But there comes a certain point, and I think it comes down to the fact that the fans are sick of being told that we're on a journey. We just want to arrive at our destination. And I think, had we assigned Conte, it would have felt like we were ready to go, sort of like kind of the way we shrugged off the fact that we didn't really like Mourinho, but it must be that we're going to spend money. It must be that we're really ready to win trophies, and that's it. And I know we didn't get that, and that's not the point. And I agree with everything Andy said, whereas we need someone who's going to come in and be steady and be solid and be quite neutral and not rock any oceans, because the club's had enough bad PR as it is. I get all of that, and I think, I think I'll enjoy the football under him, but I still am not convinced by the overall club structure, and I think that is also why I'm underwhelmed. I don't think it's just Nuno, and it's nothing personal.
Yeah, I understand.
I liked him at Wolves.
I understand that because we're seeing several things go on at the moment. So there's the new manager. There's obviously all this kind of potential unknown over Kane. There is Paratici coming in, who we don't really know what he's going to do, and is he just going to work with Italian signings, or is he going to be in cahoots with Mendes, with Nuno, just bringing in loads of Portuguese players? So there's a lot of unknowns here, really, and I get all that. It is a bit unsettling, but for me, I think the journey is almost as enjoyable as the destination, maybe even more, actually.
I hope so.
I think that, two things I would pick up on there. I think the Conte thing, there's a lot of people that have said today, Nuno is a Mourinho, and that's just bullshit. There's no, he's not. There's no way. He's not nowhere close to what Mourinho was. No. And I think, if anything, Conte is probably a more similar fit to what Mourinho would have been as a manager.
Totally.
So what was the other thing? You mentioned something else that I was going to pick up on. Bollocks! I fucked it. Oh no. I just think that I don't think that I just don't think Conte really. He's just not going to be, for me. He wasn't going to be the person that was going to take us. I
don't think so, really and truly. But it's about the fact that we talk about being a big football club. We created this whole stir around the ESL, and I think the fact that we've struggled to appoint a big name manager, and Nuno might go and win the Premier League next year. Not likely, but he could. And
he does